This is my friend's Interceptor.
Smiling at me.
Constant.
No, it's the sound of that engine.
Look at that. They don't make them like that anymore, do they?
I love you too, James.
Smiths. Wow.
Yes, yeah. 100 goes up to 150.
150 miles an hour.
Ding, ding.
Can you imagine doing 150 miles an hour on that? That's amazing.
Yeah, there we are.
That's just beautiful. Drum brakes all round, of course.
Twin drums at the front. They're not very good. They've got one that side. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's original.
I love it. It just is awesome. So it's a 750.
700.
700.
The original Interceptor was 750.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I have a YouTube channel about my motorcycle, my Interceptor journey,
Oh, right.
and your motorcycle's going to be on it,
Oh, really?
if that's okay.
Yeah, well.
Just beautiful. How long have you owned it?
Oh, about 6 years now.
Really?
It was a real pig to get the start from cold. It was up on one side of it. I think I've sorted it out now.
Have you had to take the engine apart to see that?
No, because that is genuine mileage. That's 7,000 miles of genuine. Somebody bought it.
Wow. What year is it? 1963. So my 2023 has done more miles than your 1963.
Somebody bought it and it was something, I think the magneto went, so they put it away and left it there for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And it came out again just before I bought it and it was sort of on the road. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's
Perfect day for it as well. Sun's shining.
yeah, oily rag. I need to.
It's meant to be warm. It doesn't feel cold, yeah. So it's obviously carbs.
Double twin carbs. Yeah.
All made in Britain though, this one.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So mine's an Indian.
Oh yeah. This is all original Enfield.
So sprockets under here.
Yeah. A clutch and stuff.
Clutch and stuff is all there.
Yeah.
Looks like you've updated the horn.
Yeah, that is what's up there. Yes.
It's like an updated horn, and it looks like you've done something with this cable.
Yeah.
So that can't be original, can it?
That is original.
It is original. Oh wow.
Yeah, it needs some.
What is this?
Toolbox.
It's still.
Did that reaction?
That's amazing.
Got one either side. This may just be. It's just a toolbox.
Okay, wow. So it's just like a space for
Stuff in there.
That's amazing. So today you'd have your motorcycle there's no space. It's all crammed full of everything.
Yeah.
There's no like empty voids really on my bike.
No, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, it's got petrol to this carburetor here.
Yeah.
This other one doesn't have a float chamber because it's fed from that one. So this is fed from there, which is a bit. I don't like it really.
Oh wow, so it sort of piggybacks off the first one.
Yeah.
It doesn't have its own fuel feed.
No, it comes across from the bottom.
Wow, why did they do that? Just to
Cheap.
just to save money. And it's kickstart.
Kickstart. Yeah.
Does that get you shins ever?
It does if you have it on advance. If you have it too advanced, it will kick your foot off.
Yeah, would it?
It's got auto advance.
I used to have a 125 that I had to kickstart, and it was a real pain.
Yeah.
It was a real pain.
Yeah. I mean, it will give you decent.
I'd hurt myself so much.
Yeah.
On my inner shin.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, it's just fantastic. It's delightful, isn't it? It's just delightful to look at.
Yeah, four speed.
For 1960s, it looks very post-war, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a 60s machine. It looks almost older than that.
Yeah. Sort of the area of the British big twins. Yeah, the AJS matchless, the Nortons.
And it's got spring suspension in the front?
Yeah.
And forks?
Yeah.
Oil?
Yeah.
There'll be oil in there?
It's a telescopic oil, yeah.
They look like, is it the same in the rear?
Yeah, I just got these shockers at the back. They're only adjustable. You just turn them.
Oh, there is
this
adjustment.
one, yeah. Just turn that round. It's probably on the softest. It's probably softest now. You turn this a bit harder.
Yeah. I've got mine on the softest because I've upgraded the suspension to YSS adjustable.
Oh yeah.
But the springs are still too hard, so even on the loosest setting, it's a really hard ride.
Really?
So I've got back in touch with Hitchcock's, and they're going to send me out some softer springs.
Oh, really?
I think the reason is I'm at only 82 kilos, and although the shocks are designed for that bike, they haven't got. I've removed the stock exhausts, which take off 12 kilos, so there's a lot less weight on the bike. So I just think they're just too hard for it.
Yeah.
Oh, and thank you ever so much for bringing it. It's an absolute beauty of a machine. The more I work on my motorbike, the more I think, the more I appreciate them.
Yeah.
And the craftsmanship, especially that went into these older machines.
Yeah, definitely. They're usually a bit over-engineered, aren't they?
Yes, in a good way. Yeah.
No, I got to do some cutting. I got to do some grass cutting. Thank you.
Guys, got to cut the grass apparently. Yes, please. This is Guy. This is his bike, and it's amazing. Yes, please. I'll have some tea. Right. So yeah, that was my good friend Guy, who very kindly brought his Royal Enfield to visit. And Guy, thank you for that. What an amazing chap, and so interesting. What a knowledgeable human being he is. He pretty much knows everything about everything to do with engines. So I'm very blessed to have someone like that I can go to should I have any questions. Guy, thank you for sharing your bike with the world. Anyway, where have I been and what have I been doing? Let's get into the video. Okay, well, I thought it might be a good opportunity to have a bit of a catch up, because it's been a couple of weeks since I did my last video, actually 10, 11 days, something like that. First of all, if you are a subscriber, thank you very much for continuing to tune in to my channel. I really appreciate it, and I hope that something on the channel is helpful to you in your own journey, whether you have a Royal Enfield Interceptor 650, or maybe you have a different kind of bike altogether. My desire really, when I first started this channel a few months back, was just to help people who are starting out on their journey. Might be that you are just about to get a 50cc moped. Maybe you've done your CBT and you're looking to advance and maybe get a bigger bike. Hopefully something within my early videos of when I took my test and passed my test will be really helpful to you as you prepare to take those next steps. And I would encourage you to do that if you've been on a bike like I was for many, many years, intermittently. Advancing to a full bike test not only enables you to have a greater range of bikes, and also enables you to travel further, because bigger bikes are much more suited to especially UK road infrastructure. You can't really go anywhere on a 50 unless you're on an A road or a back road. Certainly you are not allowed to go on a motorway with a 50cc bike unless you've got a full license. So just taking your full test enables you to do stuff like that, to move you forward in your own personal journey of motorcycling. But also, and I think this is a really big thing that I didn't really factor in when I took my test, when I was doing my training at least, it gives you a greater skill set, a greater toolkit on the road. It enables you, I think, to go one step further in making sure you don't get killed when you're out there, because we are very vulnerable as bikers. I'm a car driver as well, but whenever I'm on my bike, I feel the vulnerability of it. And I think it's good to have a healthy awareness of the danger that biking poses, and not to let that run away, as it sometimes does in my mind, but especially to be aware of some of the dangers, and to always be vigilant and keeping an eye out around you. And I think the way that I have, I sort of view other road users when I'm a biker has kept me safe so far, at least, which is to assume that everyone is out to get you. Assume nobody can see you. Assume every single time you come up to a junction, that car that's waiting there or approaching doesn't see you. And to start to take action, even if it's unnecessary. See, I would rather slow down for a junction unnecessarily than not slow down and get knocked off my bike. That's just the way that I ride. Maybe that's over the top. Anyway, so yeah, I'd encourage you, if you're thinking about taking your full bike test, to do it. Just take the plunge. I guarantee, I promise you, you will not regret it. But this video is not about that. I just thought I'd do a quick catch up to let you know sort of what's been going on in my world the last few days. And I will do some video as well within the different subjects I'm going to talk about. First of all, I can't remember whether I talked about my suspension upgrades, but I think I did. I think I had frustration trying to video those, and in the end, like a few other people, sort of gave up trying to video the process. The long story short is the rear shocks. So I did a YSS suspension upgrade on the entire bike, so front forks and the rear suspension, the springs as well, replacing the stock for YSS adjustables. Now, the process for the rear was fairly straightforward, although there are some snags. So the rear shocks, it literally is just replacing one at a time, and starting with the left-hand side, or the as you're sitting on the bike, the left-hand rear. Ideally, you want to do that one first, otherwise you get a few issues with alignment. But if you have modified your bike like I have, if you have changed the stock exhausts, which I think add about 12 kilos, to much lighter stainless steel ones, then what you might discover, if you are as light as I am, is that with the reduced weight, the springs that get sent, at least my ones with the stock kit, were and are too stiff. And I've got the preload set to minimum on the rear springs, and the damper adjustment, I think that's what it's called, set to about 4 or 5, so not very high. And at the moment, it's a very, very hard ride. So I got in touch with Hitchcock's Motorcycles, who I bought the rear springs suspension from, and they very kindly have offered to send me out some softer springs when they next do their YSS order. So hopefully I'll be able to show you that process, even though I didn't show you the installation process of the rear shocks. But effectively, it's very easy. It's just a couple of bolts. Make sure you loosen the exhausts just to give yourself a bit of play, and then off you go. The front suspension is very different. So it's not an incredibly difficult job, but if you are not used to working on anything like that, if you're not used to taking things apart, then it can be a bit daunting. I mean, I did, over COVID, I did a body off restoration on a 1972 Volkswagen Beetle 1300. And I mean, that was very much like Lego. Believe it or not, it's not that difficult, especially with all the videos on YouTube that you can follow. But even so, having done that, I still was reluctant to take the front of my motorcycle apart. But I did it anyway, and I watched a couple of videos. One was Stuart Fillingham's video, and I watched a couple of others as well. And the reason it's difficult is not only do you have to take apart the front forks, not only do you have to drain the existing suspension fork fluid out of those forks and measure the new ones. Again, that's not that difficult, but it's just a bit overwhelming. But if you want them to work to their maximum capacity, and I say that because not everybody does what I'm about to tell you I did, then ideally you need to remove the damper tubes in each one of those suspension forks and drill the holes a bit bigger. Because you don't want those damper tubes controlling the flow of the oil and the speed of that. You want the adjustable part of the suspension kit that you get with the YSS front fork upgrade to do that. And if you don't drill out the holes, then even though you can adjust the front suspension, it's not going to be anywhere near as effective, so they say. So I decided to do that. I borrowed a tool from James Slick, and that was messy. Yeah, that was messy, but I got it done. And it took a few hours because I'd never done anything like that before. But it's like anything, isn't it? The first time you do it, it takes ages. But then you think, well, that wasn't such a big deal. And if I ever have to do it again, I won't be too worried about it. So the front suspension, I don't know. I feel like it has made a positive impact, but not as positive as many people talk about it. Perhaps it's just because I haven't got it adjusted right. Maybe it's because the rear suspension feels like I'm riding on rocks at the moment. So perhaps that's part of my slight disappointment with that. But anyway, it's been done. I have also been working on upgrading my garage space. So I've built a workshop at the back of my garage space now. And I'll show you that on another video just to sort of set the scene for you, if you like. I'm trying to create a space that during the winter, if I need to go out and work on my bike or work on parts of my bike, I'd like a warm space to do that in. And so hopefully the space that I've created will enable me to work with a bit more comfort, not be freezing cold, because my garage is not insulated in any way and it is absolutely freezing in there. The only other thing that I have been doing recently is looking to get an open face crash helmet for the summer. Now, I don't know where you sit when it comes to open face helmets, but I am completely confused. I'm confused about if they're safe or not. Now, that may seem like a dumb statement to make, but there's a part of me that thinks, well, if you're only traveling at slow speeds, it's fine. What's the big deal? If you are going to travel on a longer distance, then maybe there's an argument to say that a full face helmet obviously offers you much more protection. But what I don't understand, and I guess it's the time-old question, is why the prices of open face helmets can be dramatically different. I.e., you can go on Amazon and find a perfectly suitable looking open face helmet with a visor, with a drop down, adjustable sort of sun visor as well, built into it, integrated, for like £75. But then at the other end of the scale, you can go to companies like Hedon, who I know make very quality products, top of the line materials, but you can pay £400, £500 for an open face helmet. Shoei do the same. They have an open face helmet, but it's really, really expensive. So I'm sort of juggling with do I really need it? Which is always the question. And of course, most of the time, if we're honest, we don't. I have my K-Berg Duke X, which is a modular helmet, is that what it's called? Where you can open it up and have it open, or you can have it down and ride like it's a full face helmet. But the problem with those is that as soon as you start traveling over 30 miles an hour, the wind resistance that you get when it's open sort of pushes your head backwards and makes it incredibly difficult to do anything. So I don't really understand why they exist, unless perhaps if you have a motorcycle with a really large fairing, touring bike or something like that, then it makes sense. Or maybe if you're a courier within an urban area and you're traveling around and you're constantly dropping things off and dropping off pizzas or whatever, then it makes sense to have something like that. So I'm on the fence really between wanting to get one but not really knowing if it's something that will be a benefit. I also don't want to swallow wasps at 50 miles an hour, so that's another consideration, isn't it? One other project, so I've had a lot going on, so I'm sorry I haven't been keeping you up to date. One other project that I'm looking to do is to install some heated handlebar grips onto the Interceptor 650 while it's coming into the warmer weather. I know it doesn't really make sense, but I want them in place for when it starts to get colder. And to be honest, if you live in England, you'll know that even in the summer, it's not exactly warm, is it? So I did have some Daytona grips that I got from sportsbike.com, but I discovered when I was about to fit them that the existing Interceptor grips are 130 millimeters in width, and the Daytona heater grips are only 120. So there was a shortfall in the distance. And that matters because the handlebar grip contains the throttle cables. And if the grip is flush with the throttle cable part of the handlebar grip, that makes sense, the handlebar tube, then there is a 10 mil gap. And the only way to get rid of that is to cut down the tube, to shorten the tube. But then of course you're left with an area of handlebar sticking out. So then you have to shift the whole throttle assembly and the handlebar grip to the right. And it just seemed like so much trouble because also on the left-hand side, on the clutch side, for the indicator switchgear, if you undo that, there is a pin, a metal pin that has to be seated in a hole that's drilled in the left-hand side of the handlebar. So to move that 10 mil to the left means you have to drill again into the handlebar. And oh my goodness, do I need that trouble? No, I don't. So I've sent those back and I'm now looking to potentially get something from Oxford without the huge, ugly looking temperature control unit that so many of them have. So lots going on. And in the meantime, I continue to use my bike as much as possible and chat to people. And that's been a wonderful part of getting on my bike a bit more. Even yesterday, I went into town and saw a guy called John. Hello, John. I know you subscribe to my channel. Lovely fella, Interceptor 650 with the chunky tyres that I've been thinking about getting. I think he also said he had a shotgun or I can't remember, another kind of bike. John, let me know in the comments. I can't remember what you have. But it was really nice to chat to him, really nice to meet him. And extraordinary, actually, with the two Interceptors sitting sort of next to each other, how very different the same bike can look and how wonderful they are as a bike to making them really bespoke to what you want. So yeah, really happy and looking forward to some warmer weather. I'm hoping to do a trip out to the new cafe that's in Newbourne in the next few days. I went today, had a breakfast. It was fantastic. So highly recommend Newbourne Kitchens, which has just opened up in Newbourne following the departure of Nourish, which if you're local to this area, you may know. But yeah, next time I head out on the bike, I hope to take a trip there. And you can come with me if you want, and we'll order a hot chocolate and a bacon roll. Anyway, thank you for watching as usual. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I'd love to hear your experiences with open face helmets. Are you for them or are you against them? Please don't tell me horror stories. I'd quite like to sleep at night. And in the meantime, don't forget to keep the rider side up and the rubber side down, and I'll see you on the next video.